Welcome back, everybody, to another fun book review. And I have been waiting and waiting to do this one for some time. Spoiler alert, I have not finished reading this completely. I read about one chapter a night. I've been saving it and going through it very slowly. But I've a little over halfway through, and I feel that I have read enough and seen enough to make an honest review here. This is One Man's Wilderness, an Alaskan Odyssey, the 50th anniversary edition. And this is about Dick Pernenke. If you don't know who Dick Pernenke is, and you're into bushcrafting, you're into the outdoors, boy, have you been missing out. Okay? First, let's take a little look at this book. This is the hardcover edition, which is what I recommend. Here is the back. ISBN. So, before we get too deep in this, I want to talk a little bit about who Dick Pernenke is. Back in 1968, Dick Pernenke started building this cabin you see right behind him there, up in Alaska on these Twin Lakes. And the only way you could get to this location was by seaplane. And what's amazing about this is back in '68, Dick filmed himself all along the way building this cabin. Now, Dick had several cameras. A lot of people think he only had one. But if you do your research and look deeper, you know he had several cameras. He had a 16mm movie camera, an 8mm movie camera, and a 35mm German camera that he did a lot of stills with, taking pictures of nature and stuff like that. So with these movie cameras, he was filming everything. In other words, Mr. Pernenke was like a YouTuber before there was ever an internet or YouTube. So pretty amazing stuff. This book has been in print since 1973. Now, the reason I bought this 50th anniversary edition is because there are a lot of color photos in here that were never in previous editions. In fact, they claim that a lot of these photos haven't been seen by the public in over 20 years. So I was like, okay, I'm sold. Let me buy it. Now, Mr. Pernenke built this cabin, lived up there by himself until I think it was in the 2000s, and he moved back to the continental U.S. because living on his own by himself out there was just getting too hard in his old age. He died back in 2003 at the age of 86. There's so much more I could sit here and say about Mr. Pernenke that it would take me, a couple hour video, but we're not going to get too deep into that. I just encourage you to look into him. There were several documentary films made about Mr. Pernenke, and they were broadcast here in the U.S. on PBS. There's Alone in the Wilderness, 2004. Alaska, Silence and Solitude, 2005. The Frozen North, 2006. Alone in the Wilderness, Part 2, 2011. Many of these films, if not all, if I'm not mistaken, are available on YouTube for free to watch. I will post links to them down in the description, along with links to this book. So with that all said, we're going to get into the meat and bones of this. This hardcover edition is 272 pages. It is a 2018 copyright. The hardcover lists for $35.99, but you can usually get it on sale on Amazon, $23 to $24 range. The paperback is available. It's listed at $19.99, but you can usually get it in the $16 up to $20 range. And there's a Kindle version too, which list price is $9.99, but usually you can get it for $8.99. I recommend the hardcover. Okay, now how I rate books is on 4 categories with 5 possible stars for each category with a possible score of 20 stars, the perfect rating. To date, there's only been 1 book I've ever reviewed that got 20 stars. So let's get into it. Content. This is the type of thing that myself and many others I know have dreamed of. Going out into the wilderness, building a home away from all this craziness with your own 2 hands and living there. So for me, the content was just there. This entire book is Mr. Pernanke's journal entries and photographs of everything. So 5 stars. Pictures. There are tons of color photography in here. So I'm giving it 5 stars. Illustrations. This is where the book kind of falls off a cliff. There's only 1 illustration in the whole book, and that's a map of the Twin Lakes where his cabin is. So I'm going to give it half a star. Value. I think getting this for right around 23 bucks, being a hardcover, I say the value's there. So I'm going to give it 5 stars. That gives me a total of 15.5 stars. Not a bad rating at all. Now let me show you. We're going to take a brief look in here. I want to show you the contents. Okay. Now I'm going to randomly show you some pages in here. These are journal entries. You can see there, September 20th. And I'll show you some of the photography. The photography is just outstanding. Now, some of this is stills taken from his movie reels, and some are stills that he took with his 35mm camera. Just gorgeous up there. And like I said, there he is building his cabin. Just beautiful. So Mr. Pernanke was definitely a, carpenter, a bit of a woodworker. So if you're into this kind of thing, if you're interested in this kind of thing, or you've heard about Dick Pernanke before, and you wanted a little bit more detail than the documentaries give, you might want to check this book out. There's other books out there too, but this one really caught my eye. Just the attention to detail. It's amazing stuff. And if you haven't seen these documentaries, I really recommend that you go check them out. And as always, thank you for watching, and everybody have a wonderful evening. I will catch you all later on out in those woods. Maybe someday I'll build a cabin of my own. All right. Thank you for watching.